Laura's Christmas Star. Do you believe in magic? Asked Tommy, watching Laura pack her suitcase. They were going to Aunt Martha's for Christmas this year. Laura smiled. It was a quiet, secret smile. Sometimes, she said. Aunt Martha says her Christmas tree looks magical. She says it's huge and sparkly and it glitters like a zillion stars. I can't wait to see it. Laura closed her eyes, letting pictures of zillion glittery stars float into her thoughts. Is it morning yet? Asked Tommy. Laura opened one eye. We've only just gone to bed. Go back to sleep. 10 minutes passed. It seemed like 10 years to Tommy. Is it morning now? Asked Tommy, nudging Laura awake. Laura opened both her eyes. She seemed to have slept a long time. I think it must be, she said. Laura and Tommy ran into Mum and Dad's bedroom. It's not time to get up, groaned Mum. Go back to bed. They wandered back to their room but didn't go to bed. They sat by the window staring out at the sparkling stars. Look, cried Tommy, pointing. That star's brighter than all the others. Laura smiled her secret smile. That bright star was her own special magic star. She had once rescued it when it had fallen from the sky. When it was better, she had set it free. She knew it was her friend. Finally, morning came and Laura and Tommy helped Mum and Dad pack the car. Nearby on the pavement, a man was selling Christmas trees. He waved at them and shouted, Happy Christmas. Tommy shouted back, We're going to Aunt Martha's. She's got a Christmas tree that's huge and sparkles like a zillion stars. At last they were off. The sky began to turn all grey and soft and it looked as if it was going to snow. As they reached the countryside, beautiful snowflakes began to drift down. Laura and Tommy pressed their nose against the car window and watched them cover the earth like icing on a Christmas tree. The car began to rattle. It sounds like it's got a bad cold, said Laura. It sounds like it's broken down, said Mum. Everyone got out and Dad opened the bonnet. He pulled at some wires, but he couldn't get the car started. Everyone climbed back into the car and waited for the repairman to arrive. It grew colder and colder, and everyone huddled together to keep warm. I'll tell you a story, said Laura. It's about a magic Christmas star that saves everyone. But as she started, Tommy began to cry. There's no such thing as magic, he whispered sadly. We'll never get to Aunt Martha's now, and I'll never see her huge, sparkly Christmas tree that glitters like a zillion stars. By the time the repairman had mended the car, it was too late to go to Aunt Martha's. Tommy tried not to cry as Dad drove back home and they carried their suitcases into the house. Tommy stayed sad as the daylight faded and the night crept in. I wish I could do something to make Tommy happy again, Laura whispered. She looked out of her bedroom and her special star appeared. It shone down on her as if it understood Tommy's sadness. The man who had been selling Christmas trees had long since gone, but suddenly Laura noticed he had left behind a little tree. It lay in the snow, looking very lonely. I'll get it for Tommy, Laura cried. Maybe that will cheer him up. She ran outside to where the little tree was lying. Come indoors with me, she said. Laura carried the tree into the house. Thanks for getting it, Tommy said sadly. It's nice, but it's not very sparkly, is it? And it's not very glittery. Laura looked at the tree. Tommy was right. It could never be the magical tree Aunt Martha had promised them. Laura went upstairs to sit by her window. At least she could tell her star how helpless she felt. It always listened to her and understood. But as she looked into the night sky with horror, her special star had disappeared. Now Laura was just as sad as Tommy. There wasn't much to feel happy about now. She had lost a special friend. And maybe Tommy was right. Maybe there was no such thing as magic at all. Suddenly, she heard Dad calling to them. Laura, Tommy, come here, quick. Puzzled, the two children ran downstairs. Look, gasped Mum, as they all stood by the living room door. Laura and Tommy looked and they couldn't believe what they were seeing. It's wonderful, cried Tommy, turning to Laura. with shining eyes, but how could it have happened? Laura smiled her secret smile. It's magic, she said. And the letter you're looking for the book trail is the letter E.